From the Detroit Free Press, it's Tuesday, April 7th. Here are today's top stories.
Brought to you by JB's Smokehouse, located inside Bush's Fresh Food Market of Canton. JB's offers a range of authentic barbecue favorites, from beef brisket and mac and cheese to fried green tomatoes and pulled pork tacos. JB's is sure to become your new favorite barbecue spot.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kerry Jr. The number of coronavirus cases continue to increase in Michigan. The state health department reports over 17,000 cases and over 700 deaths. These numbers are continuing to overload the healthcare system. In a press conference on Monday, Governor Gretchen Whitmer said the state has secured protective equipment from the federal government and the open market, but the governor says the state still needs more.
We are running dangerously low on PPE. At Beaumont Hospital, we have less than 3 days until N95 masks run out. At Henry Ford Health System, we have less than 4 days. And at the Detroit Medical Center, less than 10 days. At all 3 health systems, there are less than 3 days until face shields run out, and less than 6 days until surgical gowns run out.
The governor also says the state is in a better position now than it was a week ago. The climb in case numbers across the state has prompted one automaker to postpone production until next month. Fiat Chrysler has announced the company's plans to reopen production plants on May 4th, as the company faces 11 confirmed deaths from the disease. Other automobile companies are still reacting to the pandemic. General Motors has not determined a date to reopen facilities. Ford CEO says it's not likely that the company will open before May. While Ford's car production is on hold, the automaker has shifted its focus toward other areas to assist during the crisis. Over the weekend, Ford reached a production total of 1 million face shields for healthcare workers. The company also assisted 54 students from historically black colleges and universities get home who had otherwise been stranded because of the pandemic. This effort was part of an ongoing partnership between the Ford Motor Company Fund and the United Negro College Fund. The city of Detroit is on a mission to support local restaurants while feeding essential workers. On Monday, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan announced that the city will be starting a Feed the Frontlines initiative.
We are going to buy 2,500 meals a week that you make, and we are going to deliver them to the police officers, the firefighters, the bus terminals, the hospitals, the jail.
Restaurants interested in participating can sign up at feedthefrontlinesdetroit.com. The city plans to provide over 10,000 free meals to workers starting Wednesday. That's the latest. For more information about COVID-19 in Michigan, visit www.freep.com.
This is Detroit Free Press autocritic Mark Phelan. Michigan may have dodged disaster when the Detroit Auto Show moved from its traditional January dates to June this year. The show could have led to an early and devastating outbreak in COVID-19, possibly even making Detroit the world's leading hotspot behind Wuhan, China, Michigan State University infectious disease specialist Dr. Peter Gulick told me. The disaster could have begun with the debuts of new vehicles, a week before the show opens to the public. Hundreds of journalists, executives, and engineers from China would have been packed into tight quarters with thousands of others from across Michigan and around the world before we knew anything about how to avoid infection. People working in hospitals and restaurants across southeast Michigan could have been exposed, in addition to CEOs of automakers from around the world, not to mention local and national political leaders who visit the show. The show recently canceled its June dates as Detroit's TCF Convention Center converts into an emergency hospital to care for COVID-19 victims.
Hi, this is Kathleen Gray, and I cover state and national politics for the Detroit Free Press. Just days before crews are scheduled to complete the conversion of TCF Center in Detroit into a 1,000-bed field hospital, the state has chosen a second site to treat coronavirus patients. The Suburban Collections Showplace in Novi, home to garden, boat, and bridal shows, and even the Michigan State Fair, will be transformed into a 1,000-bed field hospital. Oakland County is second only to the city of Detroit in the number of coronavirus cases, and the county's hospitals are becoming overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients. The TCF Center conversion started less than 1 week ago and is expected to start accepting patients on Friday. So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Suburban crews will be able to quickly move to the new conversion in Novi.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department, and sad news with the Detroit Tigers. The man synonymous with the organization, Al Kaline, died on Monday at the age of 85. Mr. Tiger played every game of his 22-year career for the Old English D, and he won the American League batting title in 1955 at just 20 years old, which is still a record. He was an All-Star 18 times, the leader of the 1968 World Series champions, a first-ballot Baseball Hall of Famer in 1980, and then became one of the voices of the team along with George Kell on television. He spent much of the last 2 decades as a special assistant to the Tigers' general manager and could be seen annually at spring training, helping young guys learn how to handle Kaline's corner in right, wearing his iconic number 6.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com, and sign up for the Daily Briefing newsletter. See you tomorrow.